By the evening of June 3rd, Major General Daniel Hill's division was setting up camp on the northern bank of the Charles River, beside the Appleton Bridge. They had moved south through Clanfield and Haven to get to this point. The Union 6th Corps had taken the same route, but at a more leisurely pace. They set up camp that evening between Clanfield and Haven. General Franklin had slowed the march as he was in discussion with the Clanfield's mayor and town elders. He had warned against any interference to his men and supplies that would need to pass north and south through the town over the coming days. 2nd Brigade 2nd Division had passed through the town of Stockton at midday, stopping to burn every vessel in the small harbour before moving on south to eventually make camp beside East Bay at the junction of the East Road with the Clanfield Road. Sundown of the 4th of June saw the Confederate Division arrive at Hampstead Arsenal. Dan Hill had ridden into the nearby town to warn the townsfolk of the impending battle that would likely take place at the arsenal. 6th Corps spent that evening beside the Charles River, but they chose the south bank, a mile south of Appleton. 2nd Brigade 2nd Division would halt just south of Whitton. Their march continually halted as they stopped to burn, shipping and destroy any quayside installations. 2 residents of Whitton had been shot dead by men of the 2nd Vermont after the former had opened fire from a warehouse on the quayside. One Union soldier had suffered shotgun wounds. Just after midday on the 5th, 6th Corps were just 2 miles from Hampstead and its arsenal. 2nd Brigade 2nd Division camped north of Port St. Charles Bridge. Now they had passed over the bridge into the town, their work of destruction would be resumed. Brigadier Brooks warned the residents of severe punishments if they attempted to interfere. The suburbs of Hampstead can be seen in the lower left with the arsenal upper centre. 6th Corps passing a farm with cavalry scouting ahead and on the flank. Confederate cavalry scouts watch the column approach. 6th Corps filed past the farmhouse. The arsenal can be seen in the distance. The Confederate troops, with the assistance of the Hampstead residents, had cleared all trees and shrubbery around the arsenal to give the defenders a clear field of fire, whilst denying any cover to the would-be attackers. General Franklin, at the head of the column, surveys the situation. The rebels in position, manning the walls, ready to make a last stand. Looking northeast along the east road from Hampstead, the Union column in the distance and the arsenal to the right. The defenders can only grimly wait for the inevitable attack. General Henry Slocum rode to the head of the halted column and is seen in conversation with Officer Commanding 1st Brigade of 1st Division, Brigadier Taylor. Having assessed the situation, they send a messenger to request 6th Corps Commander General William Franklin join them.
"I want this affair over with, gentlemen," William Hill said as he once more scanned the arsenal through his binoculars. "We will bring all 4 of our batteries into action on this northeastern wall. If possible, I want those buildings set on fire. It will prevent the enemy manning them. It will also cause a lot of shrapnel for the defenders on the wall to deal with. 2nd Brigade, 1st Division will form up behind the guns in readiness for an assault on the wall. Then I want 3rd Brigade, 1st Division with 3rd New Jersey will advance along the road and seek an option to attack the northwest wall. It will also serve as a distraction and force the enemy to keep that wall manned. The remainder of the Corps will form up behind 2nd Brigade and the artillery. I intend this to be the focus of our attack. The cavalry can probe around the other walls, also keeping the defenders in place."
The 4 remaining batteries lined up from left to right as we look. E Battery, 1st New York. F Battery, 5th US Artillery. A Battery, 1st Massachusetts Battery, and A Battery, 5th US Artillery. Behind him, left to right, 5th Maine, 16th New York, 27th New York, and 96th Pennsylvania of 2nd Brigade, 1st Division. 3rd Brigade, 1st Division, advanced down the road. Brigadier Newton leading the 18th New York, 31st New York, 32nd New York, 95th Pennsylvania, and finally 3rd New Jersey. The remainder of the corps can be seen advancing through the trees. The remaining combat-effective regiment of 1st Brigade, 1st Division, namely 4th New Jersey, followed by 1st Brigade, 2nd Division, with 43rd New York, 49th Pennsylvania, and 5th Wisconsin. Behind them, 3rd Brigade, 2nd Division, 49th New York, 77th New York, and finally 33rd New York. A rebel view of the Union attack force. Protecting the flanks and probing for any weaknesses will be 1st New York Cavalry, 1st US Cavalry, 6th Pennsylvania Cavalry, 5th US Cavalry, and finally 8th Pennsylvania Cavalry. The Battle of Hampstead Arsenal gets underway with a huge barrage from the Union gun line, with only the 4th Virginia Battery replying. This could be painful for the defenders of the arsenal. 1400 hours and the peace is shattered. The unequal artillery duel proceeds, rebel troops suffering some casualties from shrapnel. Also a hit on one of the factory buildings starts a fire. It will need to be dealt with quickly to prevent it spreading to the whole building. First US Cavalry, along with 6th Pennsylvania Cavalry, chase off the 9th Virginia Cavalry, being careful to stay out of musket range. Wise's Legion Cavalry also pull back from the advancing Union infantry and cavalry. 1st New York Cavalry, accompanied by the 5th US Cavalry, look on as the rebel horse skedaddle. The Union troops begin to take up position before the northwest wall. A potential second attack wave is now in position behind the guns and the first attack wave on the northeast wall. Plenty of Union reserve to be deployed if and when required. Looking northeast from the town of Hampstead. Defenders and attackers can be seen. Union reserves await orders as the artillery barrage continues. View of the Union 96th Pennsylvania as Union troops deploy for an assault on the northwest wall. Wise's Legion Cavalry pull back and prepare to dismount. 1st New York and 5th US Cavalry move around behind the infantry of 3rd Brigade, 1st Division, intent on causing mischief to the now dismounted Wise's Legion Cavalry.